There is a nerve running from the base of your brain all the way to your gut. And right now it is telling your brain what mood to be in. Not metaphorically, physically. A cable of 100,000 individual fibers running from your brainstem, down through your neck, past your heart, through your lungs, into your stomach, your intestines, your liver. It is called the vagus nerve. You have probably heard of it. But what most people who have heard of it still do not know is what it is actually doing inside their body right now. By the end of this video, you will understand your own nervous system in a way that most people who study it casually never quite get to. But the direction those signals travel, that is the part nobody tells you. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only. Always talk to your doctor before making any changes to your health or lifestyle. Now, let us start with what the vagus nerve actually is. It is the 10th cranial nerve. That means it exits directly from your brainstem, not from your spinal cord. And it does not go to one place. It wanders. In fact, vagus is Latin for wanderer. And that name is accurate because this nerve does not pick a single destination. It travels to 12 different organ systems. Think of it like this. Most nerves in your body are local. They run from your spine to a muscle, or from your fingertip to your spinal cord, and they do one job. The vagus nerve is something else entirely. It is your body's long-haul communication cable, the main line between your brain and almost everything below your neck. It carries two kinds of signals: motor signals going downward, from your brain to your organs, telling your heart to slow, your gut to contract, your vocal cords to move, and sensory signals going upward. Reports from your organs sent back to the brain. The vagus nerve is smaller than a pencil. It is softer than a rubber band, and it is carrying more information per second than most people realize is even possible in a structure that small. Body Vault AI uses AI-powered 3D visualization to explain what science already knows about the human body. We are here to educate, not prescribe. So what is actually happening inside that nerve? And why does understanding it change everything about how you experience stress, digestion, and calm? Here's the first thing you need to know. And it is the thing that reframes everything else. 80% of the vagal nerve fibers carry signals going upward, from the organs to the brain. Not the other way around. Your gut, your heart, your lungs, they are not quietly waiting for instructions from your brain. They are sending a constant stream of information up the cable, and your brain sitting at the top is reading those reports and adjusting everything. Your mood, your alertness, your level of anxiety in response to what the organs say. Your brain is downstream from your body, not the other way around. Think of it like this. Imagine a company with an executive at the top who everyone assumes is in charge. And technically they are. But every few seconds, messages are coming up from the operations floor, from the gut, the lungs, the heart. And the executive's decisions are almost entirely based on those incoming reports. The executive is not giving orders into a void. They are responding to what the body is telling them. The vagus nerve is that communication line. And here is where the anatomy matters. The vagus nerve is not one cable. Under a microscope, it looks like an undersea communications cable. Individual fibers bundled inside sheaths called fascicles, wrapped again inside an outer layer called the epinoiureum. Each fiber dedicated to a specific organ or function. Some fibers go only to the heart. Some go only to the gut wall. Some go to the pharynx, the larynx, the bronchi. Each one is a dedicated line. Did you know the vagus nerve is made up of over 100,000 individual nerve fibers, roughly the same number as the optic nerve that carries all the visual information from your eye to your brain? Except the vagus nerve is doing that across 12 different organ systems simultaneously. The vagus nerve does not connect to the gut the way a power cable connects to a socket. It reaches into the wall of the gut itself, into a network of neurons embedded in the gut tissue called the enteric nervous system. The gut has its own nervous system, 100 million neurons, and the vagus nerve is the communication bridge between that gut brain and the brain in your skull. But here is where it gets really interesting. because the mechanism of how the vagus nerve actually sends its signal is something most biology classes never reach. Here is what is happening at the level of an individual vagal fiber. When a vagal motor fiber, one of the 20% going downward, reaches its target, it does not physically touch the organ it is talking to. There is a gap, a synapse. And across that gap, the fiber releases a chemical signal, a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Think of it like this. The nerve fiber is a radio transmitter. The gap is the air, and acetylcholine is the signal. The receiving cell picks it up and responds. Now here is where this gets specific. When vagal fibers reach the heart, they release acetylcholine directly at the sinoatrial node, the cluster of cells in the upper right chamber that generates your heartbeat. Acetylcholine slows that node down. It reduces how fast the node fires, and your heart rate drops. This is exactly what happens when you exhale slowly. The vagus nerve fires. Acetylcholine hits the sinoatrial node. Your heart rate falls, measurably, precisely in real time. Did you know the vagus nerve is so central to the body's ability to shift from stress to calm that researchers measure something called vagal tone, the strength of the vagal signal, as a marker of overall resilience? Higher vagal tone has been associated in some studies with better emotional regulation, faster recovery from stress, and lower systemic inflammation. The research is ongoing, but the measurement is real. The same mechanism operates in the gut. When vagal motor fibers reach the gut wall, they release acetylcholine onto smooth muscle cells and onto the enteric nervous system neurons embedded in the gut lining. Acetylcholine stimulates gut motility, telling the gut to contract, to move food through, to engage digestion. This is why stress interferes with digestion. The vagus nerve in calm states promotes gut motility, but the stress response suppresses vagal output. The fight-or-flight system and the vagus nerve are in direct competition. When one is high, the other is low. Your gut does not digest well when you are stressed because the vagal signal driving digestion has been turned down. And the afferent fibers, the 80% going upward, are doing something equally remarkable. They are monitoring everything: stretch in the gut wall, chemical composition of the gut contents, inflammatory signals in the gut lining, and they are sending all of that continuously to the brainstem, where it is processed and fed into the systems that regulate your mood, your alertness, your anxiety level. And what that signal does when it arrives at your heart, your gut, your immune system, is something scientists are still mapping. So what does this mean for you? Right now, it means the feeling you get, that settled calm feeling, when you slow your breathing, when you step outside, when you eat a proper meal, is not imagined. It is not psychological in the vague, dismissive sense of that word. It is the vagus nerve, firing, slowing your heart, moving your gut, reporting to your brain that things are stable, and your brain updating its internal model accordingly. The gut-brain connection that wellness content talks about endlessly is not a metaphor. It is anatomy. It is a cable, and the traffic on that cable mostly flows from the bottom up. 80% of the fibers in your vagus nerve carry signals upward, from your organs to your brain, not the other way around. Your gut is not receiving orders from your brain. It is filing reports. And your brain is adjusting your mood, your energy, your level of alertness based on what your gut sends up. The brain-gut connection is not a concept. It is 100,000 fibers, right now inside you. Some research suggests that the state of your gut, its microbiome, its inflammatory markers, its stretch and chemical signals, may influence vagal signaling in ways that feed into mood and anxiety responses. The research on this is active and ongoing, and the mechanisms are complex. But the anatomical pathway for that influence is not in dispute. The cable exists, the signals travel, the brain listens. Did you know, when you exhale slowly, your heart rate drops not because of willpower, But because the vagus nerve fires a burst of acetylcholine directly at the sinoatrial node, the pacemaker of your heart, slowing it in real time. This is the exact mechanism behind the heart rate variability that wearables now measure. Every number on that screen is a report from your vagus nerve. Which brings us to the thing that surprised us most in building this video. Most people who have heard of the vagus nerve think of it as a wellness trend, a thing you stimulate by gargling or humming. The anatomy tells a different story. It is one of the most complex nerves in the human body, running the length of your torso, monitoring 12 organ systems, carrying 100,000 individual signals simultaneously, 80% of them going upward from your body to your brain right now. It is not listening to your brain is listening to it. The next time you feel your heart rate fall as you breathe out, you will know exactly what just fired. Next time, we go inside your lungs. And what happens inside an alveolus in the first 10 seconds of holding your breath will make you understand your respiratory system in a way that no diagram ever could. This is happening inside you right now. So tell me, has your gut ever told you something your brain was not ready to hear? One word, drop it below.